Yo, what up? All right. We got another one from Anthony Jeselnik's Thoughts and Prayers.
Okay. Let's go, man. These are some crazy ass thoughts, man, and prayers. Yeah, man. Let's go. You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
I love my grandma. Loved her very much. My grandma taught me about a lot. Taught me what religion is. Taught me everything you can know about religion. And one quick story, I'll tell you now. When I graduated from high school, my grandma came to me, gave me a big hug, said, "Anthony, I'm so proud of you. You're my first grandchild to get to go to college. What can I do for you? What can I give you before you go to college?" And I said, "Honestly, Grandma, all I need from you is money." Yeah, I know you guys have never been, but college is expensive. And my grandma said, "Okay, Anthony, I understand." So a couple months go by. It's the end of the summer. I'm packing up my dad's car, getting ready to go to school. And my grandma walks up, says, "Anthony, here, before you leave, take this." And she handed me a brand new Bible, King James Version. And I said, "Thanks, Grandma, that's exactly what we talked about." Got in the car and I went off to school. A couple of weeks go by. I'm hanging out in my dorm room, having a good time. When the phone rings, it's my grandma. Says, "Anthony, just calling to see how college is going." I said, "Grandma, college is the best. I'm having the time of my life. But to be honest, I'm already starting to run low on money. And I could use a little bit, like we talked about." She said, "Okay, Anthony, well, let me ask you this. Have you been reading your Bible?" And I said, "Totally, Grandma. I'm on chapter 4. She said, "Okay, Anthony. Well, then I guess I'll talk to you later." Hung up the phone. A couple of months go by. Now I'm really starting to struggle financially. I'm gonna have to drop out of school if I don't get some money. So I call my grandma in a panic. I say, "Grandma, please, it's Anthony. I'm having the time of my life in college. I love it here. But if I want to graduate, and I do, I need you to send me some money like we talked about." She said, "Well, Anthony, let me ask you this. Have you been reading your Bible?" And I said, "Yes, Grandma. I wish it was longer." She said, "Okay, Anthony. Well, then I guess I'll talk to you later." Finally, it's the end of the school year. I've got straight A's, but I'm dropping out of college because I have no more money left. And I'm furious. I'm close to tears cleaning out my dorm room. When the phone rings, it's my grandma. She says, "Anthony, I heard you're dropping out of school today. How come?" And I said, "You know goddamn well how come, Grandma. Because you wouldn't give me any money." She said, "Well, Anthony, let me ask you this. Did you read your Bible?" And I just hung up the phone. I was so pissed off. Took everything out of that room. The last thing I took off the shelf, the last thing I took out of that room was that Bible my grandma had given me. Took it off the shelf, held it in my hands, and for the first time, I actually opened it up. And right there, on the very first page, in my grandmother's handwriting, it said, "Fuck you." Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed all the jokes that I've prepared for you tonight. And all the jokes I write, they're all made up. They're all fake, except for Eric Clapton and the Challenger. Everything else is fake. But everything I'm about to tell you from here until the end of the show, that's all true. Now, I don't tell dark jokes because I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian because I tell dark jokes.
Okay.
I'm kind of fucked up. I've always been this way. Can't really help myself. It gets me into trouble a lot. I lose friends. It's ruined relationships with people in my family. Like, for instance, My grandmother actually did pass away about 6 months ago. I did love her very much. She's a big fan of mine. And I was asked to speak at her funeral, which was a horrible mistake. Horrible mistake. No one should ever ask me to speak at anyone's funeral. And I'd asked a friend for advice. I was like, listen, I've never talked to a group of people without getting paid a lot of money. How should I handle this? And they're like, Anthony, just go up there and just tell a story. Find like one moment in your life about you and your grandma that you can share with everybody. And don't tell a joke. Try not to. So I walked up and I was like, you know what my favorite memory of my grandmother was? I was like 4 years old before I learned how to read. My grandma would curl up with me on the couch. She had this big, thick Southern accent, and she would read to me. She would read Mark Twain to me, and I loved it. Like, Mark Twain out of my grandma's mouth, it would just come to life. And then I couldn't help myself. I said, and I know my grandma loved it too, because it combined her two favorite things, spending time with her grandchildren and using the N-word.
Why they ruin that?
Now I promise you, until you have heard your grandfather gasp at his own wife's funeral at a Methodist church in Vicksburg, Mississippi, you are not a real comedian. I am a real comedian. I am a pure comedian. I think I'm one of the best comedians of all time. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you believe me. It really doesn't matter. The important thing is that I would pass a lie detector test.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, I believe he could, man. I believe he could pass one.
Okay. First step is having the confidence. He said he's one of the best comedians of all time. Okay. Definitely in the dark genre.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Might be the best. Him and Tosh.
Man, he said he was a comedian because he told dark jokes.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. No. Not to be confused.
Yeah, I was about to say, because at first, when he was talking about the Bible, I thought I heard that somewhere before, like where the money was in the Bible at the end of the story.
That's what you expected.
And all he had to do was open the Bible in the first place.
Be a check for $10,000 in there.
Yeah, it was a check, yeah. It was in his grandmother's handwriting. It said, fuck you. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if there was any truth to that, he may have had a little bit of a tough upbringing, man. You know? Oh, man.
Yeah, Daniel Tosh should never speak at any funeral. Anything like that.
No.
Any other than stand up, you don't want him speaking. You don't know what he's gonna say.